Hello, and welcome to another session of the Rousseau Report. I'm Dennis Rousseau. This is one of my favorite photos that I shot one morning at Rocky Mountain Metro Airport. The 8X was the perfect aircraft to fill the frame. Speaking of the Rocky Mountains, we left Colorado and have relocated to Florida. And that's why you see the Tampa skyline at the opening of our sessions. There have been so many interesting new developments in our industry. So today, we're going to talk about the different models. How about business jet models? Aircraft that are in development or recently released into service. Falcon 10X, one of my favorites, which you'll see why in a minute. Gulfstream's G700, G800, Bombardier's Global 7500 8000, and a couple more which we'll touch upon. The first ultra-long-range aircraft was Gulfstream's G650. It incorporates a new bonded manufacturing process, full fly-by-wire, larger windows, new wing, upgraded avionics, most of all, a range of 7,000 miles, or with the ER version, 7,500 miles at 0.85 Mach, a cabin altitude of 3,200 feet at flight level 410. And for more details on this model, please take a look at our session specific to the 650. Now keep in mind, this model was the longest in class at just under 100 feet, so owners figured they could stretch the cabin into 4 zones. And for the sake of repeating myself, all Gulfstream cabins are 26 feet 8 inches in length, comprising 8 feet 9 inches per zone. Add a 4th zone, you reduce the length of the aft lab from 4 feet to under 3. You eliminate the crew rest area. Let's see, you have a 14-hour mission and no space for a 3rd crew member, let alone a flight attendant, although you can carry 16 passengers. The forward lab is crunched into the corner and you've added a mere 6 foot 7 inch zone, 10 pounds and a 5-foot bag. In 2019, Gulfstream announced the G700, essentially a 650 with a 10-foot fuselage plug, and new Rolls-Royce Pearl engines, the same that power the upcoming Falcon 10X. Similar to most iterations of an existing model, sometimes they're difficult to tell apart. In this case, count the windows, 10 per side for the 700 and 80 on each side for the 650. Specifically, 3 forward of the forward wing root for the 650 and 4 for the 700. Now you have a true 4-zone cabin, where each section is 8 feet 9 inches long. There are many configurations available, but as of now, the standard is comprised of 4 singles forward, followed by a 3-place divan opposite an entertainment center in Zone 2. Then a dinette opposite 2 singles in Zone 3, where the table can be extended side to side, making one continuous dining surface. Then, of course, in the aftmost cabin, we have, yes, a stateroom with a fixed queen-size bed, with a very spacious aft lab, where you can also install an optional shower. So now that we have all the accoutrements, what does a 7,500 mile range look like? How about just go anywhere nonstop? New York to Johannesburg, South Africa, New York to the southernmost tip of South America, Eastern Asia, you name it. As you can see, this range chart depicts the 650 ER and 700 with the same range plus or minus 100 miles at 0.85 Mach. Push the throttles full forward and you can still achieve a 6,400 nautical mile range at 0.9 Mach. And as usual, whenever we speak to max range in this category of business jets, it's quoted based on 4 crew and 8 passengers. The G700 is equipped similar to the 650 with a Symmetry avionics package, predictive landing performance system, synthetic vision with dual head-up display. Power is provided by 2 Rolls-Royce Pearl 700 engines that are derivatives of the BR725s that power the 650, although they provide 8% more thrust and consume just under 4% less fuel. The G700 should enter service later this year or early 2023, and will go head-to-head with the Global 7500, and similar to the 650, we're not going to address the 7500 as we dedicated a session to that aircraft as well. Now, this may sound a bit premature. However, the successor to the 700 is the G800, which has been in production for the past year and just made its 2nd flight to attend the Farnborough Air Show on July 15th. Yes, the 800 translates into an 8,000 nautical mile range. However, as stated earlier, count the windows. Wait a minute, we're back to 8 on each side. And its direct competitor, the Global 8000, which is a derivative of the 7500 with an 8,000 mile range, and Bombardier has stated the 7500 owners will be able to retrofit their aircraft with the 8000's performance enhancements. Why then buy an 8000 for $10 million more? I think we're actually moving too many new models into the ultra-long range category. but more on that later. Now, one of my favorites and an aircraft to get excited about due to the fact it's not a derivative of any previous model, and it's packed with technological refinements. The Dasso Falcon 10X features the most advanced avionics and the tallest and widest cabin in class, and Dasso calls the model the largest and most capable purpose-built business jet. Compared with the competition, the cabin of the 10X will be 8 inches wider and 5 inches taller. That's 6 feet 8 inches tall, 9.5 feet wide, and over 50 feet in total interior length, which translates to almost 2,800 cubic feet of cabin space. And by having a larger cross-section, you could accommodate a more spacious anything. More spacious labs, larger galley, larger people for that matter. The cabin altitude is just 3,000 feet at flight level 410. Humidity levels can be set to your liking, and their new air filtration system delivers 100% pure air. The 10X features a new all-carbon fiber swept wing with integrated winglets and a new flap and leading edge slat design, as well as Rolls-Royce Pearl engines, the same that power the G700, that incorporate a bliss design where the hub and blades are integrated into a single unit. Engines are projected to have a 10,000-hour overhaul requirement. So if you fly 500 hours per year, you got it. The engines will outlive us. And remember to enroll them on the OEM hourly program. Come time of resale, you don't want to be the one holding the bag for a $5 or $10 million buy-in. Rolls-Royce also offers a health monitoring program that provides diagnostics and alerts in real time, monitoring every component on the engine. The digital touchscreen next-generation flight deck is based on the Honeywell Primus Epic system, featuring full fly-by-wire, an automatic flight envelope, and recovery protections, which basically returns the 10X to stable flight after an upset in any configuration by simply pushing the recovery button. It also offers a Falcon Eye that combines enhanced and synthetic vision on a dual head-up display that allows either pilot to fly and land without referencing the instrument panel. A useful thing to have under limited visibility. The flight deck is also extremely versatile, allowing the pilots to take turns completely reclining their seats to a near lie-flat position for rest, the cruise portion of a long flight. Now the 10X will have a 115,000-pound max takeoff weight and carry nearly 52,000 pounds of fuel, with the highest payload in class at 6,500 pounds. Let's now take a closer look at this enormous 4-zone cabin. The vestibule accommodates a forward lab, crew rest, and a galley that will easily serve 3 meals for 8 passengers on a 14-hour mission. The dedicated crew rest compartment is ingenious in that the lay flat cushion turns into a single seat, and as you'll notice, the windows match the huge descriptor in that they're 50% larger than those on the 8X, and there are 38 in total where their sheer size can be better appreciated as we step into the cabin. Another unique feature are the pull-out tables, where as opposed to one table accommodating both seats, each seat position has its own table. Just aft of the forward seating area, we have Zone 2 that features a dining area that accommodates 4 individual seats versus a traditional dinette that allow the window passengers to exit their seat without disturbing the aisle passenger next to them. The third zone can be configured with a single divan opposite a credenza, or as seen here, dual divans. Then we enter Zone 4, which is the stateroom. And it features a chest of drawers, as well as a queen-size bed. And in the aftmost cabin, we have the master lab. With a stand-up shower, it just doesn't get any better. Now, let's look at how far we can travel ensconced in luxury. 7,500 miles with 4 crew and 8 passengers, running head-to-head with the 650ER, 700, and Global 7500. Non-stop practically anywhere, and they're all priced accordingly in the plus or minus $75 million arena. The 10X, with its new T-tail versus a traditional crucifix design found on other Falcons, is slated to enter service in late 2025 and is sure to turn heads, as this is one beautiful airplane. Moving on now, Dassault has also been working on the new 6X. It's slated to enter service next year and will compete with the Gulfstream G500 and Bombardier's Global 5500. both of the latter sharing the same cross-section with the G600, Global 6500, and once again, Dasso is one step ahead with a 6-foot 6-inch cabin height and 8.5-foot cabin width. I'd like to point out the 6X is not a derivative of some other model in Dasso's lineup. It's a clean sheet design, unlike the G600 or the 6500, which are stretched versions of the 500 and 5500 respectively. The new 6X wing is designed to mitigate turbulence. It is equipped with flaperons, leading edge slats, and trailing edge flaps. The flaperons save weight, improve control, and smooth out turbulence by combining flaps and ailerons into a single control surface. Flaps deploy to increase lift at low speeds, while ailerons regulate bank and control. The leading edge slats and trailing edge flaps combine to lower takeoff and approach speeds. At max takeoff weight, the Falcon needs a balanced field length of as little as 5,480 feet. It can also access airports requiring steep approaches, such as London City. Pratt & Whitney provides power to the 6X using the Pratt & Whitney A12D engines that also power the G500 and 600. And to give you an idea of the engine size, look at how these two workers pale in comparison to the size of the engine. The EZ3 avionics will be based on the Primus Epic platform, and similar to the 10X, the 6X will feature dual HUD and combined vision, displaying both synthetic vision and enhanced vision on the head-up display. And this depiction will give you a better idea of what this means to the pilot flying. Just imagine if you have a missed approach and need to go around without combined vision. You may know there are mountains at the end of the runway, but where? The 6X will be fairly standard with the forward and mid-cabin arrangement, but when it comes to the aft cabin, buyers will have choices. The forward cabin accommodates 4 singles in a club arrangement, followed by a 4-place conference grouping, 2 opposing divans in the aft cabin, which of course, all seating areas are berthable. Range is comparable in this class, so as with the competition, the 6X will have a range of 5,500 nautical miles at 0.8 Mach and 5,100 miles at 0.85 Mach, with a max speed 0.9, or 9/10 the speed of sound. A couple of other aircraft on our radar, although by no means are they clean sheet designs, but rather derivatives. Bombardier has built its 864 Challenger 300 series since 2004, and they've rebranded the model Challenger 3500. You can see there are no exterior features that can distinguish the 350 from the 3500, same wing, empennage, fuselage, cabin windows, along with the Honeywell HTF 7350 engines. All the same. Avionics are the Proline 21 Advanced, same as the 350. However, after near 20 years, they've finally added HUD EVS to the options list. Keep in mind, it took them until the Challenger 605 to add HUD EVS to the 600 series. Interior configuration, passenger seating remain the same. Forward galley and 8 single seats in a club configuration. Although they've integrated some new design features, as can be seen in the galley that has a more modern appeal, the divan remains an option, only now it can be berthed, although the 6-foot cross-section, on average, is rather narrow, and if berthed, how does the crew get to the aft lav? Which also incorporates a new design. They also took the Nuage floating seat design from the Global 7500 and incorporated it into the 3500. In summary, Bombardier is offering the 3500 with auto throttles, synthetic vision, and multi-scan radar as standard equipment, and head-up display and enhanced vision as options. And they're stating a range of 3,400 nautical miles, or 300 miles greater than the 350, but I don't quite know how they achieve a range increase as yet. Textron has also gone down the road of rebranding with the CJ4 Next Gen. After building 379 aircraft, they added redesigned stairs with a lower point of entry. Proline 21 will continue as a standard avionics package, and they're proclaiming the aircraft to have up to 10 passenger seats, which again, I think that's stretching it a bit. 10 pounds into a 5-pound bag. They achieve this by belting the lav, then adding a side-facing seat. A bit of an overkill. They've also redesigned the refreshment center to incorporate high-power outlets, coffee maker, and an optional stone countertop. The new seat design looks great and is a welcome improvement. So at the end of the day, second FMS, HF radio, and flight data recorder remain options. The standard equipment list is pretty much unchanged. but we welcome the new CJ4 Gen 2. As always, we'd like to thank AircraftPost for their participation. And I'd like to circle back for just a moment. As of the beginning of 2022, I turned the day-to-day operations over to my second-in-command. Although I'll continue as an advisor, I've returned to my consulting role with TRC, a company I formed in 1989. Our primary focus will remain in business aviation consulting, acquisitions, and serving as expert witness in court cases. We have a lot more to discuss, so stay tuned for our next session. Until then, I'm Dennis Rousseau. Now let's get on our 6X and head to the islands. Thank you for tuning in.